Those years in quest of honor mine. Chapter 55. Tang Ming had uncovered the secret concerns buried deep within Zhongwan's heart for many years. These worries and the remaining poison in his body started to take their toll on him. One bowl of medicine was merely able to dissipate his fever temporarily. Zhongwan's condition did not take a turn for the better at all. 1 hour later, his fever grew so high that he lost consciousness. After arriving at the capital, he had been very careful about his health, afraid that if he grew ill, it would interfere with everything he needs to do. Every time Zhongwan felt he was about to get sick, he would take medicine in a flash to suppress the illness. After he had suppressed it for so many times, the illness accumulated and festered. And now, it finally found a way out, flaring up with a vengeance. After Yushi had fed Zhongwan a piece of candy, he took a seat at the side. He did not eat the evening meal. 1 hour later, he felt something was strange. Taking a few steps outside of his inner chamber, he called for an imperial physician. He was very suspicious of there being something wrong with the bowl of medicine prior, and had someone check the leftover contents in the bowl. Furthermore, he sent someone to the Imperial Academy of Medicine to summon more imperial physicians. After they had rushed to do their duties for 1 hour, each of them checking Zhongwan's pulse and discussing with each other for a while, they found a representative among them to explain things to Yushi. Cold enough to freeze, Yushi said, "What do you mean? Since there's no way to heal him, just let his fever burn out by itself." The imperial physician had spoken in complicated medical jargon for a good while, and now said with much patience, "The fact that his illness has flared up isn't necessarily a bad thing. Young Master Zhong is not in good health and every medicine has a trace of poison. Every time he felt a little sick, he would take potent medicine to suppress the sickness, suppressing all the pathological influences in his body. Although he was able to forcibly contain his illness this time, after half a month or a full month, if he's not careful again, there will be a relapse. Why not just use a mild medicine and let his illness flare up until there's nothing left?" Eyes bright with distrust, Yushi looked at the imperial physician. Steward Feng, who was at the side, advised, "Yushi-zi, we're not knowledgeable of these things, so why not just listen to the imperial physicians?" Fearing that Yushi was suspicious, the imperial physician said, "Naturally, there is a quicker method." Gaze dark and gloomy, Yushi said, "How long is the quicker method? How long is the slower method?" The imperial physician lowered his head. The quicker method would take 3 to 5 days for him to recover. The slower method would take at least more than 10 days and 1 month at most. Yushi hesitated. Xianjin's coffin had already been delivered to the royal mausoleum. The funeral arrangements had already concluded. In a few days, the people of Prince Jianan's estate would leave the capital. Did Zhongwan want to leave? If they procrastinated without end, would he still be able to return to Jianan? Previously, Zhongwan had said he would not immediately return to Jianan after the funeral. But he had only mentioned it once. Just recently, Xianqiang had laid a trap for him. So, would he have changed his mind? If he wanted to leave, Yushi would not keep him. Yushi hardened his heart. Said in a low voice, "The quick." "Yushi-zi," intercepted Steward Feng. He glanced at the imperial physician, and the latter retreated. "Let's hear what young Master Zhong wants." Yushi frowned. How could he understand anything when he's this sick? Taking one's time to heal isn't the same as not healing at all. Just before, the imperial physician said that it's similar to how people help children break their fevers. First, we must apply acupuncture to reduce his fever. It's estimated that young Master Zhong would wake up the next day, said Steward Feng patiently. I know that Yushi-zi doesn't want to delay young Master Zhong from returning to Jianan, but we don't know if he wants to leave, right? If he stubbornly insists on staying, then wouldn't this be putting him through suffering in vain? Yushi-zi should not suspect the imperial physicians. They have taken care of your honored self since you were young. Their lives and their families' lives are all in your honored self's hands. Who would dare to not expend all their effort? Furthermore, it is purely because of the benevolence of doctors that we want to use the slower method. Isn't it better to report back once it's completed? Isn't it because young Master Zhong's body is weak that we don't want to prescribe a medicine that's too strong, and want to help him recover slowly? Also, each word of Steward Feng poked at the softest parts of his heart. These imperial physicians are all the most highly skilled practitioners in the country. Young Master Zhong won't find better treatment than he would here. Once he returns to Jianan, where could he find such good imperial physicians? Let's not talk about acupuncture. There probably won't even be any doctors who can diagnose him properly. Otherwise, how would young Master Zhong's body have gotten to the state these past few years? For certain it's because there aren't any good doctors in Jianan. Yushi was startled and wavered. Steward Feng attacked while he was winning. The best imperial physicians and the best medicine are all in our estate. Does Yushizi really not want to help young Master Zhong heal from his illness completely? Agitatedly Yushi said, have them apply acupuncture. Wait until he wakes up. Then we'll listen to what he wants. Overjoyed, Steward Feng left. After Yushi had given the order, the imperial physicians no longer wasted time. They quickly prepared their medicine equipment and carried a few charcoal basins into Zhongwan's room. Once the room heated up, they removed his clothes. All along, Yushi had stayed in Zhongwan's room. Steward Feng also did not dare to advise him to leave. Before they started the acupuncture, Yushi had people shut the curtains. The imperial physician in charge of the acupuncture was rather perplexed. There wasn't even a servant girl in the room. So why were they being so secretive? But the imperial physician dared not ask too much. After they shut the curtains, he wiped his hands and started the acupuncture. Yushi turned around completely. From start to finish, Yushi never turned around even to glance a bit. He stood there for 2 hours. It wasn't until the imperial physician had finished and pulled up the covers over Zhongwan, that Yushi turned back around. He approached the bed and felt Zhongwan's forehead. The fever had indeed somewhat subsided. Zhongwan was still asleep. The imperial physician said near whisper, if he rouses during midnight, it's fine to feed him some plain rice congee. However, he cannot have too much. After we check his pulse again, we can prescribe him medicine. Yushi nodded and had someone escort the imperial physician out. The charcoal basins in the room had been carried out. Only a small portable stove remained, an exquisite pot resting above it. And inside was simmering congee. Yushi had the servants leave as well. He sat by the side of Zhongwan's bed alone. He did not sleep the whole night. Early the next morning, at the first glimmer of light, Zhongwan finally opened his eyes. His body ached from the fever. The moment he had awoken, he felt as though his whole body had fallen apart. It hurt so much, to the point where he was wheezing. Once Yushi had roused, he left the room to call the imperial physician over and check Zhongwan's pulse. Then he returned to his own room to freshen up. After he had freshened up and changed clothes, Steward Feng rushed over. Yushi's heart leaped. He tried his best to remain calm and collected. What did he say? Steward Feng strived his best to appear natural, but his eyes betrayed his joy. Young Master Zhong said he'd have to bother the imperial physicians in slowly healing him. Yushi threw the silk cloth in his hand into the basin of water. From his lips came a drawn-out sigh. Then let them slowly treat him. Zhongwan had awoken, yet Yushi did not return to the former's courtyard. Yushi had been punished to reflect on his mistakes behind closed doors and seriously worked on the official business that had accumulated immensely. He did both at the same time. The old eunuchs that came to see him were all secretly amazed. They didn't know why young Prince Yu's personality had changed out of the blue. 2 days later, Zhongwan's condition improved a little. He was able to leave the bed and eat. However, Yushi was only a bit less worried. He once again summoned the imperial physician who had applied acupuncture to Zhonwan before. The imperial physician requested Yushi to dismiss the servants from the room. Yushi's heart sank. In his chest was a faint sense of unease. Did his fever return? Or did his illness grow more severe? It's none of these, the imperial physician rushed to say. Young Master Zhong's condition has already started to take a turn for the better. Yushizi need not worry. However, because young master has recovered a little, there seemed to be something amiss during the pulse reading. What's amiss? Baffled, the imperial physician said, 2 days ago, young Master Zhong's fever was very high. We could only see that he had the common cold. As such, we treated him as though he had a common cold in our healing. But after this fever had dissipated, and we checked his pulse again, we actually discovered young Master Zhong had remnants of a former illness. This doctor dares not pry, but if Yushizi wants us to heal young Master Zhong completely, then there's no choice but to ask one question: what kind of poison was young Master Zhong affected with? Yushi's gaze darkened. He tried his best to say normally, what poison? This doctor doesn't know. Just a while ago, we asked young Master Zhong directly about this. He replied that he was unhealthy and took medicine without control these past years, accumulating poison in his body. However, the imperial physician raised his head and shot a careful glance at Yushi's expression. However, from the pulse reading, this is clearly a poison ingested many years prior. Moreover, we don't know if young Master Zhong is aware of this. Not to mention, we don't dare to inquire too much, and could only come to ask Yushizi. He himself said it's from eating medicine, said Yushi with a gloomy expression. So, he definitely doesn't know. Yushi had long since found it extremely amiss. Zhonwan had been very healthy in his youth. How could he have become a sickly person after a few years? Even if it was because he wasn't acclimated to the new region, then why were Prince Ning's children fine? He had been poisoned. Who did it? Such a person could make Zhonwan willing to accept harming himself. Up until now, was Zhonwan still protecting this person? Yushi closed his eyes, concealing the killing intent in them. Can it be healed? The imperial physician wavered for a good while. Yes. Before Yushi could ease his worries, the imperial physician said, however, it will take a long time. We'll have to treat him for a considerable amount of time until the remaining poison is discharged. This will take a lot of effort. Furthermore, the medicine needs to be considered. The medicinal ingredients will be hard to find and expensive. Yushi's worries lessened a little bit. He lightly said, heal him. If you're lacking any medicinal ingredients, just talk to the steward. I can definitely manage it. The imperial physician rushed to nod. Then that's good. After the imperial physician had retreated, Yushi grasped a brush. Following a long period of sitting in the study, he smashed the writing brush washer into smithereens. Young master, you really, because pleasant surprise had hit him too quickly, Steward Feng kept asking Zhonwan, you really won't leave? Zhonwan had grown thinner one size after his illness. He drank the bowl of medicine Steward Feng had just given him to the last drop. He licked his lips. Why is the medicine the imperial physician prescribed this bland? It's not very bitter. If I'm taking this kind of medicine, how long would it take for me to get better? I'm really not leaving. Didn't I say this before? Who would dare to believe that? Steward Feng sighed. But, one would fear that at Yushizi's side, it's hard to say. A dry laugh left Steward Feng's lips. For 2 days, Yushizi only stayed in his own courtyard and did not speak. Who knows why he's depressed again? I fear he has once more become dead set on you leaving. Zhonwan looked down and smiled bitterly. Anxiously, Steward Feng took a seat at the side. Once Yushizi decides on something, he would not listen to anyone. I don't dare to advise him. After Zhonwan had taken his medicine, he felt a bit more energetic. He thought for a moment and his eyes brightened in a flash. He beckoned. I'll help you think of a solution. Just do this first, find someone who can mimic voices and some candles. Then. Zhonwan and Steward Feng spoke for a long time, the latter looking at the former with a strange expression. Then Steward Feng clenched his teeth and stomped, before leaving. On that night, Yushi lay on his own bed, eyes completely bloodshot. In the beginning, he thought the best outcome would be to send Zhonwan back to Qianan. If in the future, if Yushi could ascend the throne by a stroke of luck and Zhonwan wanted to return, he could naturally return. If Yushi lost his life during the fight for the throne, then that was that. But now, it seemed Qianan wasn't safe. Just who poisoned him? And why did they do this? Why did Zhonwan keep all of this from him? When it's all said and done, was he staying because of Yushi or was it because he wanted to repay his debt of gratitude to Prince Ning? Was he staying to repay Yushi for his kindness? The more hesitation sprung in his heart, the more he hated Zhonwan, hated that the man didn't tell anything himself, hated himself for coveting the period of affection between them. After one step in the wrong direction, all subsequent steps led to mistakes. Now, he reached a point where he had to face a difficult choice. Agitatedly he ground his teeth, doing his utmost to restrain himself. Just when Yushi was about to fall into a bout of madness, he suddenly heard a noise outside his window. An assassin? Yushi sneered. There were so many family soldiers in the estate. For this person to avoid them all and enter his courtyard was a testament to his skill. He's courting death. Yushi rose to his feet. He picked up the sword by his bedside. The moment he arrived by his window, he suddenly heard a whimper outside. It seemed like a sound from some sort of wild beast. Yushi hesitated. Outside, that wild beast abruptly screamed in a voice that seemed half beast and half man, Zhonwan must not leave. Zhonwan must not leave. Zhonwan must not leave. Not a word left Yushi's lips. The hand holding the sword trembled a shade. Out of instinct, he suspected himself. Did he, completely went mad? In utter disbelief, Yushi stared at his hands. Hesitatingly, he returned to his bed. The next day, the Yushi who had been howled at by some wild beast all night sat by his desk with dark circles around his eyes. And he was still suspecting himself, still not clear-headed. Steward Feng approached the front of the desk without a sound. In a soft voice, he asked, "Did Yushizi not sleep well?" After a moment of being dazed, and Yushi said out of reflex, "Tea." It was precisely this word that Steward Feng had been awaiting. He rushed to bring a cup of tea. With hands trembling, he didn't hold it steadily and some of the tea spilled on the desk. Overwhelmed by shock, Steward Feng pointed to the desk. "Yushizi. Look." Yushi turned to look at the desk. All he could see was tea spilled all over it. However, the tea seemed sentient and avoided the strokes of characters on the paper, faint characters appearing on the desk. Zhonwan must not leave. Yushi's expression stiffened. For a long time, he did not speak. He closed his eyes and tried his best not to wonder whether he had gone mad or if the world had gone mad. In a blink of an eye, he entered his study. Come noon, the Yushi that had calmed down after much difficulty let out a sigh. As soon as he was about to stand, Steward Feng rushed into the study, face full of shock and grasping a dead fish dripping with blood. "Now what happened?" asked Yushi. Terrified, Steward Feng held the dead fish as he said, "Yushizi. Just now, the kitchen staff was slaughtering fish. This slave thought about making fish soup for young Master Zhong for the noon meal. Never did the slave think, that after slicing open its belly, this would be found." Steward Feng pulled out from the fish's stomach a roll of paper that had yet to be soaked through. Reverence painting his face, he handed over the paper to Yushi. Numbly, Yushi received it and opened it. There were 5 words on the paper: Zhongwan must not leave. Yushi was speechless. Steward Feng was the picture of piety. This is the will of the heavens. Yushi crushed the fishy-smelling paper into a ball. Through gritted teeth, he said each word one by one. Go. Tell Zhongwan. I won't kick him out. And Steward Feng was overjoyed. Before he could turn around, though, Yushi picked up the records of the Grand Historian and tossed it to him. Having a breakdown, he said, make him copy the annals of the House of Chenche 10 times. Then have him give me that and the copies of the Heart Sutra. End chapter. Those Years in Quest of Honor Mine. Chapter 56. Yushi walked up to the table. He used his fingers to wipe over the words that the tea had avoided, then rubbed them together and find them slippery. This was a thin layer of wax. Water wouldn't stick to wax. When spilt over the table, it would naturally avoid these areas. A bonfire with fox howls. A book hidden inside a fish's stomach. As classmates, they were both people who had studied under old imperial preceptor Shi for several years. Yushi had even spent a few more years learning than Zhongwan had. Who was the dumber one? Even though Yushi's homework was often slightly subpar when compared to Zhongwan's, it wasn't like he had never memorized the records of the Grand Historian. Also, Yushi unfolded the wrinkly piece of paper in his palm. Using seal script to be deliberately mystifying was forgivable. This had obviously been written by Zhongwan before being given to Steward Feng to copy. The latter had imitated the original but drawn 2 strokes wrong. If this were truly the will of the heavens, could there possibly be wrongly written characters in them? Yushi's ears started ringing because of how angry he was at Zhongwan. Last night, he hadn't slept a wink. He had spent the entire night worrying that his condition had gotten worse again, imagining several different scenarios, even considering who he could entrust an orphan to. Completely unexpectedly, Yushi went to catch up on sleep but was still dizzy. On the other end, Steward Feng rushed over to notify Zhongwan. He first expressed his joy that they had succeeded, but couldn't help but scold Zhongwan after, saying, I told you that putting some wax on the table was enough. Yet you were determined to get that dead fish, all bloody and gross. You scared Yushizi so much that he instantly understood. Previously, you said that there wouldn't be a glitch in your plan at all. You also said that if you were a woman and had entered the palace to be a concubine, you definitely would have caused the other consorts to not have enough money to wear pants. But your plan this time wasn't that impressive at all. Zhongwan's expression was pained as he held onto the records of the Grand Historian. He asked, what strange rules does your estate have? How old am I? When I make mistakes, I'm either slapped on the palm or ordered to copy famed texts. Does he think I'm 3? Can't he use some age and status appropriate punishments to punish me? Steward Feng didn't understand. He froze for a bit before asking, what do you mean? What are age appropriate punishments? Zhongwan glanced at the old steward resentfully. He didn't answer. They didn't even understand what age appropriate punishments were. If Yushi was truly angry, he ought to charge over and strip him, then tie him onto the bed to do this and that. After, he should punish him by not permitting him to wear clothes for 3 days, forced to stay in this room and allow Yushi to have his way. Later, he would then not be allowed to wear underwear, rendering him at Yushi's mercy anytime and everywhere on the estate. Zhongwan sighed, troubled. Yushi had most likely read all those yellow books for nothing. Young Master Zhong? Young Master Zhong. Steward Feng waved his hand in front of Zhongwan's face. What's wrong? Nothing. I shouldn't have wished so early for something that can only happen once in a lifetime. Zhonwan's ears flushed slightly red. He stopped himself from thinking such explicit thoughts and set records of the grand historian off to the side, then picked up his bowl of medicine and drank it. All right. The end result was good. As long as he won't shoo me away. Steward Fen nodded. Yes. Aya, young master. There's still some left at the bottom of the bowl. Drink it all. Steward Fen watched Zhonwan as he finished the bowl of medicine. Then, he stood up. Though you don't need to be in a rush to copy these texts, if young master has the energy, why not start writing them sooner? Otherwise, Yu Shizi might find your attitude not apologetic enough. I'll leave first. Steward Fen headed off to finish his own tasks. Zhonwan painfully started copying the texts. Time flew by. Unknowingly, half a month had passed. During this period, Lin Si secretly visited once. He told Zhonwan that Yushi had already learned about Tang Qin. Zhonwan relaxed. Zhonwan copied the records of the Grand Historian 10 times. He also copied the Heart Sutra 10 times, but he still hadn't completely recovered from his illness. Zhonwan's cold was already almost healed, but the imperial doctor said he needed to be cured slowly. He wanted Zhonwan himself to gain an immunity against the cold and wind, so he wasn't in a rush to prescribe him medicine. Ever since his fever had gone down, the amount of medicine he was required to consume had lessened greatly, too. Each day, the imperial doctor also made Zhonwan eat a medicine pill that was a color that couldn't be discerned. Zhonwan swallowed the medicine, bewildered, and asked, "What is this? It doesn't seem like medicine. It's a bit sweet and also slightly fragrant." The imperial doctor smiled but didn't explain. He only said, "Take this pill once every other day for 3 to 5 years. Zhonwan choked. "I only caught a cold. Why would that take 3 to 5 years to heal?" The imperial doctor hurriedly said, "Don't overthink it, young master. This is a supplement. Yu Shizi has looked over the prescription already. Yu Shizi has also had someone examine the pill. There is absolutely no problem with it. It's to cure frail physical health. Young master just needs to eat it." Zhonwan didn't really believe this. He said, "Then can I trouble you to show me the prescription?" The imperial doctor smiled. "It's a prescription that has been passed down through the generations. Forgive me for not being able to show it to young master." Zhonwan thought to himself, "Bullshit. You people diagnose the nobility all the time. When have you dared to hide the prescription? Are you scared that no one will suspect you?" A thought struck him. Zhonwan suddenly remembered that several months ago, Yushi had once strangely said that he wanted to gather 1,000 Daoist priests to perform a ceremony that begged the heavens to allow Zhonwan to get pregnant. Zhonwan hesitated. "Don't tell me this is..." Zhonwan was a bit too embarrassed to say. He whispered the remainder of the question into the imperial doctor's ear. The imperial doctor froze. With difficulty, he answered, "Young master, you're overthinking things." Zhonwan chuckled. "I'm just kidding. I'll eat it." The imperial doctor then left 10 pills before bowing and leaving. He headed over to report his progress to Yushi. He ate it. Yushi's table was covered with 2 huge stacks of official documents. Without looking up, he asked, "Did it work?" The imperial doctor said in a soft voice, "These days, young master Zhon has taken his medicine on time every day. Only, if you want to see the effects, that probably won't be possible right now. The pills are mostly created from health supplements. Additionally, they work slow. He'll need to take them for a long time before you'll be able to notice any effects." Yushi nodded. He didn't get suspicious, right? The imperial doctor paused. In a low voice, he said, "Just now, young master Zhong asked me if this was an anti-abortifacient." The brush in Yushi's hand slipped, creating a random stroke on the document. The imperial doctor gazed at Yushi, perplexed. He thought of the rumors outside that spoke of how young Prince Yu had a strange temperament, so carefully stated, Yushizi, forgive me for being honest. Men cannot say no more. Yushi threw the document off to the side and picked up a brand new one. He waved his hands, leave. The imperial doctor cautiously escaped. As soon as the imperial doctor left, Steward Feng entered. Yushizi. Yushi looked up. What now? Steward Feng said, someone has arrived from the palace. Yushi dipped his brush in ink. Just send them away. What? They want me to enter the palace. No, Steward Feng lowly responded. The emperor has summoned young Master Zhong. Steward Feng said, a few days ago, Prince Jian'an's younger siblings entered the palace. Originally, the emperor intended for young Master Zhong to go with them. However, he hadn't expected that young Master Zhong would be here. Upon noticing that he hadn't gone, he asked a few questions. Today, there's a family banquet in the palace. Fourth and fifth prince are both attending. After the emperor heard that young Master Zhong is at our estate, he sent someone here. I'll go notify young Master Zhong right now and tell him to get changed and prepare to enter the palace. Yushi adjusted the tip of the brush and calmly stated, he's not going. Steward Feng froze. What? Yushi was occupied with his writing. I said, he's not going. Steward Feng laughed dryly. The emperor has summoned him. How could he not go? Yushi seemed not to have heard. After neatly finishing the document in his hands, he set it off to the side. Upon noticing that Steward Feng was still standing next to him, he furrowed his brows. Did you not hear what I just said? Steward Feng was incredibly conflicted. Yushizi, what are you doing? It's not like young Master Zhong has never seen the emperor before. He's already entered the palace many times since he's returned to the capital. That one time he went, didn't the emperor even gifted him old imperial preceptor Shi's writings and paintings? It's easy to tell that he's still somewhat kind towards young Master Zhong. Yushi scoffed. As if he hadn't heard anything, he picked up another document and continued working. Steward Feng was stuck in a dilemma. He laughed dryly. Yushizi, what's actually wrong? Yushi's head was lowered as he looked over the document. He muttered to himself, he doesn't want to see Zhongwan. He's using this as an opportunity to test me. Steward Feng didn't understand. That day, I made a deal due to Zhongwan. He noticed that I was motivated, so naturally felt happy. However, he couldn't help coming up with other ideas. He felt, Yushi picked up the brush again. While writing, he said, he felt that I was admitting defeat, that he could use Zhongwan to threaten me. Xianqiang and Zhongwan are already sworn enemies. He purposefully wants the two of them to meet so that Xianqiang can humiliate Zhongwan. As such, this would cause me to be cautious. Yushi mocked, the game of kings. Steward Feng blanked out for a moment. So what should we do? So, we need to let him know that I can't be controlled so easily. Yushi's eyes slowly turned red. However, his tone was still normal. He's finally found my weakness. He must be so happy, right? Yushi scoffed. Steward Feng laughed dryly. But if you're so protective over him, wouldn't that just make it easier for the emperor to tell that you care for young Master Zhong? I've never wanted to hide that. Why should I be scared that he'll find out? Don't mention any bullshit about how I should treat Zhongwan coldly just because I care about him. I refuse to continue living in such a suffocating manner. Yushi lifted his gaze and suddenly laughed. Do you know what the best response would be? To let him clearly know that I do cherish Zhongwan, that I am going to protect him. If he's harmed in any way, I'm capable of doing anything. Yushi scoffed at himself. He wants to see which one of us is crazier? When have I ever feared anyone when it came to this topic? Hasn't he always been scared that I'll die? Then from now on, he ought to start worrying about Zhongwan's safety as well. Steward Feng swallowed. He understood now. Yushi was showing his weakness to Emperor Chang'an. This way, Emperor Chang'an would understand that as long as Zhongwan was fine, Yushi would be fine, too. If anything happened to Zhongwan, Yushi would cause a riot. Tell the person from the palace, said Yushi as he threw the document off to the side, that Zhongwan won't be going. In the future, there's no need to come summon him. The emperor will naturally be able to understand what I mean. He'll no longer purposefully set up such a hangman banquet to try and disgust me. Steward Feng wanted to try coaxing him a bit more. Though Yushi had long since lost his affection for Emperor Chang'an, there was no need to make things so deliberate. After all, that was the emperor. Before he could say anything else, Yushi added, "A few days ago, I pondered a lot." Steward Feng lifted his head. Yushi lowly said, "That day, I suspected I had gone completely crazy. After repeated consideration, I wondered who I could entrust Zhongwan to if something happened to me. I thought the whole night, but couldn't come up with a single name. These years, I don't know what life I've been living either. I've survived until now, but can't even find someone I can leave an orphan to." Yushi lightly said, "There's no need to persuade me to act more tactfully. Those who have no one to rely on can only rely on themselves. Since I don't trust them, there's no need for me to compromise in the hopes that in the future, they'll care for Zhongwan out of some semblance of friendship. I wouldn't count on them." Steward Feng sighed, then turned around and left. Steward Feng exited the study. As soon as he lifted his head, he saw Zhongwan, who was standing outside the study. Steward Feng smiled bitterly. "Young Master Zhong, how long have you been here?" Zhongwan chuckled a few times with difficulty. "A long time. I heard that someone came from the palace to summon me, so wanted to notify Yushi that I was going to make a trip into the palace." Steward Feng burst into laughter. "There's no need. This. Well, you already heard." Zhongwan nodded gently. He had heard everything. Yushi had said that there was no one he could count on. He could only rely on himself for everything. End chapter. Those Years in Quest of Honor Mine. Chapter 57. Zhongwan stood outside the study for 1 hour. Whenever the servants walked by, they would glance at him in a flabbergasted manner. He rubbed his face, then turned around to make for his own room. Just now, he kept wondering how Yushi would react if he had just rushed into the study and explained things to him. If he had revealed all the information on Yushi's background that he had dug out. Zhongwan grew impulsive many times, yet also forced himself to suppress the urges. He definitely needed to get on Yushi's good graces even more before he could do this. Enough so that even if Zhongwan knew his past, he wouldn't grow so furious that he'd kick Zhongwan out. On the contrary, he would explain those pieces of secret information. He would be willing to let him stay and become his advisor. Zhongwan truly wasn't the slightest bit confident about this. After all, he came from Prince Ning's estate. At present, it was possible that Xian Rui would fight for the throne. Would Yushi think Xian Rui sent Zhongwan to his side as a spy? It seemed that now, the best method was. Zhongwan muttered, "Let him fuck me once. Just once. Then Zhongwan would be confident that he could fool Yushi for a lifetime." His words frightened the little servant girl, who had come to deliver his medicine, to the point of stumbling. Zhongwan helped her steady the bowl of medicine. "Why are you so scared?" "I don't bite." On guard, the little servant girl looked at Zhongwan. From start to finish, she thought that he was a bad person. She did not speak. After she had watched Zhongwan finish drinking the medicine, she rushed out with the empty bowl. Before the evening meal, Yushi had been summoned away. This time, it wasn't Emperor Chang'an making trouble out of nothing. He informed Yushi about the unrest at the northern border. Nowadays, a sign of disturbance had appeared in the court. Whether or not it had anything to do with Yushi, Emperor Chang'an still wanted him present. Yushi was completely unwilling to do this. Previously, for the sake of protecting Zhongwan, he had already promised the emperor he would not shirk his official responsibilities anymore. And now, he was unable to reject the emperor's request when he called on at any time. Zhongwan looked at the hourglass and sighed. Originally, he had planned to stick to Yushi after the evening meal. But now, it looked like there wouldn't be a chance. Yushi probably wouldn't return for now. He felt a bit tired. Ever since he had taken the medicine prescribed by the imperial physician, his health took a turn for the better. He also slept deeper than he had in the past. Every day, his sleep was 2 hours longer than the previous days. As such, once the sky darkened, drowsiness would overtake him. He rubbed his eyes and mulled over whether he should directly enter Yushi's inner chamber, when all of a sudden, a faint sound came from the window lattice. His heart trembled. He took in the room. The little servant girl had already left. First, Zhongwan shut the door. Then he made to open the window. Lindsay flipped as he leapt inside. He gestured, "I wanted to come during the morning, but the estate's security is too tight. When young Prince Yu left, half the family soldiers went with him. Only then could I sneak in." Zhongwan nodded. "Are Xianyu and Xiankangxin well?" Lindsay nodded as well and said with sign language, "Very well. Young Miss kept asking about you. It's good that nothing happened to them." Zhongwan sighed with emotion. "I originally wanted them out of the capital as soon as possible, but now, it seems unnecessary. It's not certain whether Tang Ming has arrived at Jianan. If he has, then Jianan isn't very safe anymore. If Tang Ming truly led Xian Rui astray to do something stupid, then these two children could claim ignorance and would not be implicated." As soon as Lindsay had heard his words, his expression stiffened. He paused, then signed, "Tang Ming did not go to Jianan." Startled, Zhongwan asked, "He didn't go? Did I guess wrong? Didn't he plotted such a large plan, to meet with Xian Rui?" Lindsay gestured, "You did guess correctly. It's..." Lindsay seemed to be suppressing his emotions as he signed, "Xian Rui simply did not return to Jianan. Not even 10 days after he had left the capital, he encountered Tang Ming's people. They told him that he could not return to Jianan. That people who wanted his life were waiting at Jianan, and was prepared to attack." At that moment, his head spun. Tang Ming. Lindsay signed. Xian Rui was skeptical because Tang Ming's men said. "Just say it," said Zhongwan in a low voice. Lindsay gritted his teeth and gestured. Tang Ming's men said to Xian Rui that if Jianan was safe, why didn't Zhongwan return himself? Zhongwan fell into a daze. Out of the blue, he laughed. Tang Ming's men also said that if His Highness did not believe them, then use the reason that he's still sick to slowly return to the south. Listen to what's happening in the capital to see if His Majesty wants to act against Jianan. Indeed, half a month ago, Master met with that bribe allegation and the things that came after it, gestured Lindsay. Zhongwan couldn't refrain from smiling. Lindsay glanced at him and felt bitterly disappointed for him. He proceeded to gesture, "Even though you and young Prince Yu had suppressed that matter, Xian Rui still heard some rumors. Hardly recovered from a recent shock, he indeed dared not return to Jianan. He followed Tang Ming's men and made a turn to the south." Steward Yan felt something was amiss but was unable to persuade Xian Rui from going. He could only anxiously dispatch someone to the capital to request help from you. "But you weren't at the estate." "I intercepted the messenger but feared that it was a trap. The next day, I personally nosed around." "Indeed. Last night Xian Rui arrived at another manor of Tang Ming's, in the suburbs of the capital. If a feudal prince, Zhongwan's lip twitched, secretly returned to the capital, this is the crime of rebellion. Anxiously Lin Si signed, exactly. Qian Rui was frightened to the point that he didn't dare return to Jianan. But what if others find out where he went? Furthermore, how long could he hide this? 3 months? Half a year? The garrison troops and officials of Jianan aren't blind. If no matter how long they waited, His Highness didn't return to his fief, how could they not report this to the capital? At that time, when His Majesty finds out, then. Zhongwan's eyes grew bloodshot. What about Tang Ming? Expression grave, Lin Si gestured, I came here today because of this. It's unknown where that old bastard is hiding these days. Most likely, he's waiting for Qian Rui to return to the capital. Steward Yan sent a letter to me that read, at 12:10 tonight, Tang Ming would go to that rural manor and meet with Qian Rui. Steward Yan already lost Qian Rui's trust. No matter how much or how long he tried to persuade him, it was to no avail. He tried his best but could only send us this news, unable to do anything else. He merely hoped that Master could borrow some people from young Prince Yu and destroy that rural manor. Steward Yan said Master can do anything you want to Tang Ming. However, Master must not let young Prince Yu know that Qian Rui has returned to the capital. So, as to avoid this matter being known, since once it does, Qian Rui's life would be in danger. Not a word escaped Zhongwan's lips. Lin Si hurried to sign, Master, can you control young Prince Yu's men? I thought about asking fourth prince for help but feared he would not protect Qian Rui. Unable to sit or stand still, Lin Si gestured, fortunately, young Prince Yu is not at the estate today. Is Master able to dispatch some people over there first? To settle this matter tonight? After that, whether he's knocked unconscious or tied up, we can have Steward Yan send Qian Rui back to Jianan as soon as possible. This way, even if young Prince Yu finds out, he won't be able to catch up. As long as Qian Rui returns to Jianan, this matter will pass. Master. Tone light to the extreme, Zhongwan said, conceal this from Sui Yu. Use his men. Lin Si hesitated before nodding. Zhongwan said dully, if in the future, someone says that Sui Yu abducted Prince Jianan, stopped him from returning to his fief and after conspiring together, sent him back to Jianan, what's to be done? Lin Si was startled. In a moment of desperation, he had not considered this. Qian Rui's life is a life. Then is Sui Yu's life not a fucking life? Zhongwan closed his eyes and did not speak anymore. Lin Si knelt straight away and signed, I didn't think this through. I will ask Xianjing for help. No need. Zhongwan sucked in a deep breath. I have a plan. Wait here. In at most 1 hour, you and I will leave the capital. Zhongwan turned around. Rushed out of the room. Once he found Steward Feng, he said, I feel a bit unwell. May you please find a way to get Yushi to return. Steward Feng was frightened to the point of jumping. He examined Zhongwan's complexion. His face was pale, eyes lifeless. He truly seemed unwell. Shuddering with fear, Steward Feng said, how could this happen? Your medicine is tested by others before you take it? Your meals are the same as Yushi's every day. How could this? Where do you feel unwell? I'll summon an imperial physician. Call for Sui Yu first, said Zhong in a soft voice. If I don't see him, I won't see an imperial physician. Steward Feng was so worried that he almost went crazy. He rushed to have someone summon Yushi. Zhongwan sat in the central room waiting. Exhausted, he rested his body on the desk, consoling himself in spite of adversity as he thought, it's fine like this. Before I could tell Yushi I know about his past, perhaps it's Yushi who should uncover my past. Before an hour rolled by, Yushi returned with a frigid aura enveloping him, a few imperial physicians in tow. Just a glance, and Yushi knew Zhongyuan was fine. Expression cold, he removed his cloak and told the imperial physicians to take a break first. Yushi dismissed everyone, anger in his eyes. Why did you make such a big fuss deep into the evening? The senior officials of the emperor's cabinet were all present when people from the estate suddenly came, saying you fell ill and would only take your medicine after seeing me. Do you know how those cabinet members looked at me? Why don't you sleep properly? What are you acting coquettish for? Zhongyuan wanted to laugh. But he could only force the corners of his lips to tilt upward a tiny bit. In the end, he couldn't laugh. Zhongyuan had sat here for a long time, and had already figured out what he was capable of doing. In simple and brief terms, he explained what was going on with Tang Ming and Xian Rui to Yushi. Then he said, "Tonight, we must destroy that rural manor. Once dawn breaks through the skies, I'm afraid that the old bastard would flee." Yushi narrowed his eyes slightly. "You want to secretly borrow the men of the Dali temple?" "No," said Zhongyuan. "There's no need to keep it secret. Just lend me some men. Take advantage of the fact that people can still enter the palace right now, and tell the emperor you received a secret letter. That it says people heard evildoers captured Prince Jianan. To act first, report later. To dispatch men to surround them and annihilate them. That way, no matter what, this has nothing to do with you." Shocked, Yushi glanced at Zhongyuan. He said, "You think the emperor would believe this? He would definitely suspect Xian Rui. Moreover, after just a bit of investigation, he'd find out Xian Rui had returned to the capital. Although he wouldn't go as far as killing Xian Rui. Xian Rui most likely won't be able to keep his position as a prince of the second rank." "I know." Exhaustion seeping into his bones, Zhongyuan rubbed at the center of his brows. "I've already tried my best." Yushi's pupils trembled a bit. They were in the middle of an extreme emergency, but a tinge of ecstasy that was hard to control suddenly sprung in his heart. Shouldn't Zhongyuan be exploiting him to protect Xian Rui as much as he could? If he himself died, what did it have to do with Zhongyuan? If Yushi secretly handled this matter, then Xian Rui could escape unscathed. For him to act this way, did it mean Zhongyuan was afraid he'd be implicated? Yushi couldn't help but want to ask Zhongyuan, "Am I more important to you than Xian Rui? Don't you like Xian Rui more?" Noticing that Yushi was silent, Zhongyuan hesitated before saying, "Yushi-zi, is that all right?" Yushi closed his eyes, dismissing all the distracting thoughts. "This plan isn't thorough enough. You don't know how many people are in that rural manor, and neither do I. Wouldn't this be falling into their trap? You don't know, but I know even less. In addition, how many people do I need to give you for you to capture them all?" Zhongyuan fell into a daze. "If I give you too many people, even if you're holding a letter from me personally, it wouldn't be easy to leave the capital come night time." Yushi scoffed. "What's more, since you want me to borrow the imperial sword from the emperor first, then capture the person who led Xian Rui astray, shouldn't such a grand contribution be attributed to me? I want this first-class merit. In fact, as long as I mention this to the emperor, I don't even have to personally go." Yushi threw his cloak at Zhongyuan. "Put it on. Tell your dog I'll accompany you out of the capital." Before Zhongyuan could respond, Yushi glanced at him, gaze profound. Killing intent rose in it. "What's most important are those matters concerning you. I have many things to personally ask Xian Rui." End chapter.